My name is Ryan Campagna. I'm the brewmaster at Touchstone Brewing. I'm 44 years old. I enjoy long walks on the beach. Actually, I really don't. That sounds boring. I have been working here for what seems like a very long time. Our brewery's been open for about 4 years. Restaurant now open just under 6 months. We make beers for everybody. All the best stuff you could ever have. I actually started brewing as a hobby. I was brewing at home in my apartment in San Francisco. It was right about the time I was old enough to actually go buy beer, but a friend of mine was home brewing and had some interesting stuff, and I just said, hey, that sounds like a fun little hobby to take on. So I bought my first little kit at San Francisco Brewcraft out on Clement Street a long time ago.
Wow.
And started brewing for fun.
That's actually super dope. Wow, so this goes back a long time for you.
So I think I was 20 or 21 when I bought my first brew at home kit, and I'm 44 now. So 23 years, 22 years, somewhere in that range. Under 25 years, we'll say.
That's great. Well experienced.
Well, home brewing and commercial brewing are very, very different. I started brewing professionally, I want to say 2011, 2012 overlap there.
Okay.
And that was at Strike Brewing Company in San Jose.
Strike Brewing. Okay, so like, what is it that made you, because I feel like there's a certain level of risk that comes with, you know, having a passion, especially with wanting to start a business. What is it that made you like wake up and say, you know what, I'm willing to take that risk?
I think that, you know, the magic moment was just hating my corporate job. I had been with Enterprise Rent-A-Car for almost 10 years, and I was just really unhappy there. Every time I got bummed out at that job, I'd get a promotion, get a raise, and it'd feel like a reset. But it just, you know, it didn't take long for me to dislike it again and learn that I don't belong behind a desk at a computer or anything like that. I had some overlap with helping out build Strike Brewing Company and still working at Enterprise. But I was still fairly young. I didn't have kids. I didn't have a house that I had to make a mortgage on. And I was fortunate enough that my younger brother offered me a room to rent, but basically free, so I could take the risk of quitting a job for an unknown paycheck.
An unknown paycheck?
Strike was very much a startup. There wasn't any money yet. And I wanted to learn as much as I wanted to make it a career. And it took a while and a couple of part-time jobs in addition to working there. And eventually, you know, every opportunity they got, they'd give me a raise, but it was still a little tough. San Jose is an expensive town.
Yeah.
But I learned a ton there, and I love those guys for it. And it helped me get me where I am now.
Was it ever scary? Like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna
work out the way the first week or so after quitting my job, and I was working at a ski shop on the weekends. I was working at a couple bars during the week. It definitely felt scary at first. It didn't take long for me to realize I should have done it earlier. I should have left that corporate job. I should have taken this leap a lot earlier in life.
Okay. So basically, if you could go back, you would say, you know what, it was worth the risk. It was worth the...
I mean, it's hard to say. Maybe the opportunity came at the right time. Maybe I wouldn't have been able to find a job that I'd be able to learn so much so quickly. Like Strike was very much a ground level startup. So I got to learn a lot about building a brewery and developing recipes and all that sort of stuff. So had I done it earlier in life, maybe I wouldn't have had that opportunity. Maybe it wouldn't have worked out with someone else, but hard to say.
How many years did it take you from, you know, start to now to get where you are? And is this what you imagined what it would be, or do you still have visions for like where you can take Touchstone?
Do you mean, okay, so just in regard to this project's actually been a bit of a long term. We had a long road with permitting and planning, and then construction was a lot more involved than we anticipated. We had to bring all new utilities into the buildings and everything, and then there was a long lapse through COVID where we had to kind of stop spending money, so we had to stop construction other than what Matt and I could do ourselves. So I think I moved here about 9 years ago. We've been open for 4, so it was a full 5+ plus years before we even started brewing beer.
Oh wow.
I worked with some other breweries in the interim, kind of as a little bit of a consulting type of role. But yeah, we've been open for 4 years. We opened our restaurant just back in May, so not long at all on that.
That being said, where do you plan to go in the future? Is this gonna be?
You know, I actually wanted this place to be small and fun and sell the bulk of our beer to people in a glass, rather than get into distribution and sell to other restaurants and bars. I sell to a couple of restaurants and bars that are basically friends of mine, and I could, you could never say no to that. But the business model here was to build a community space for people to hang out in, and continue to be social after work or after climbing or after whatever it is that they wanted to do, and not rely on getting our beer in grocery stores and that sort of thing. So we have maybe some early ideas toward secondary tap rooms, but nothing's official yet.
Now, with the building, how many square feet are we looking at?
The brewery is just over 1,800 square feet. The pub is around 3,400 square feet, and this big patio is just under 5,000.
Wow.
So plenty of room for people to hang out and drink some beers. I mean, the brewery is off limits. That's employees only, but and that space is including the kitchen and the cold storage. So that's not necessarily space to the public, but it feels like the indoor space is small, but it's actually pretty big.
No, it's pretty huge. But when it gets super packed, it gets packed in here.
It does. And right now I'm working on weather resistance for our outdoor spaces. The bulk of our space is outdoor, and it wasn't really rain proof, but I'm working on that right now. So plenty of room to sit outside and have a beer while it's raining and not get soaking wet.
That's perfect. I'm very glad to have you guys in the district, because it's just been a great experience to come over here and grab a couple beers and relax after a hard day at work.
Yeah, it's been fun being in the River District, and I hope as River District grows, we continue to grow too. We've been busier and busier every month, and seeing a lot of new faces, and we really like our River District people, so it's cool to be part of this neighborhood.
Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah.